All right, so today we have Pufflehuff, a really good friend of mine that I actually found her playing a game of Valorant, believe it or not. And there's been some pretty cool people that I've come across playing that game. And for some reason, this person really stood out to me because they had such a great personality, super cheery. Even though don't even remember if we won that game or not. We kind of got, it wasn't really the point. The point is that we had a really good time, and they were just super high energy, and we just kind of hit it off immediately. I then later on find out that she was a streamer, and then we had that in common, and we got to chat a lot more about certain things and became really good friends about that. Pufflehuff's been streaming for about 2 years, and the entire time she's been balancing work life and streaming and creating content and different stuff like that, while also in the process of starting up a virtual assistant company with one of her best friends, while all making it look all too easy. Pufflehuff, thank you for being here and saying yes to doing the podcast with me. I appreciate you.
Of course. I'm happy to be here.
Okay, so the way you kind of go about creating content and streaming from like my point of view, okay, because you've got a decent amount kind of like going on basically in life. You seem like you do handle it very well. You seem like you're like, all right, cool. I stream, when I want. I make some content when I want. You hang out with your husband when you want. And it's just like you got this business that you got going on. And when I see you talking about certain things, or I see you post the content and you're like on a vacation trip and you're just like, oh, I wish I was playing Valorant. I'm like, bro, she is crushing it right now. And I just really want to like dive into a lot of that, into a lot of your headspace with a lot of those different things. But before we really like get into the meat and potatoes of that entire operation, I do want to like know what are some of the key things about your past that makes you up, like how you've become the person you are today. So if you had to give me a brief rundown of like Pufflehuff, the woman you are today, like what do you think helped molded you into that person?
Oh my gosh, wow. That's a good question. Wow. Okay. Man, I gotta say, like, I mean, this sounds so cliche, but like probably my family. Like I'm really close to my family. Mom, dad, and a brother, and like we still to this day are super close. My brother's older than me, and he was like my best friend growing up, and so he is a big influence in who I've become in my life. I basically monkey see, monkey do with him growing up. So he was actually the first person I ever played video games with on his like, we had an Xbox One, I think, or like the original, no, Xbox 360. That's what it was. It was an Xbox 360.
Classic.
Like first time I ever played video games was with him, and so like he introduced that to me. But yeah, definitely my family and my friends, and I was just somebody who wanted to be involved in everything growing up. Like I was in sports, and yes, I was a cliche like student council kid.
Oh, one of those kids.
Yeah, man, it's okay. Good time of my life, but would I do it again? Probably not. But just like I was so outgoing growing up, and I just like wanted to do everything. And I would definitely say I've learned a lot because of all the experiences I was involved in and like the people who were surrounding me. And I feel like that's definitely molded who I am in my life.
Would you consider yourself like a hard worker?
Gosh, I would say so, mostly because I'm so hard on myself. Like I'm an Enneagram 6. Like I'm a perfectionist. Like I want to do everything right, and I want to do it right the first time. So I definitely consider myself a hard worker, and mostly because I always try to like be the best version of myself that I can be.
Like where'd that come from, you think, though? Like have you just always been this way since you were a kid? You think it was just kind of like your DNA, or did something happen where you're like, I gotta just work my ass off constantly?
I'd say I probably like in my DNA, like my mom is the same way. She like grew up with nothing. And so she worked really hard because she wanted her kids like to have a better life than she did. And so I just like grew up watching her work so hard. And I feel like probably in turn, that's how I turned out the way that I am. Like, I don't know. I'm someone you should earn it, like you work hard for it, and like you'll be able to get what you want out of life if you work really hard towards it. But I don't know, I definitely feel like that's just how I've always been. I like trying to reach for bigger goals.
Nice.
That makes sense.
No, it makes perfect sense, honestly. And in a lot of ways, I'm kind of the same way, where I'm like, all right, we got to put our head down, just strap in, just get it done because no one's going to do it for you. So that's kind of,
exactly.
I get on a spiritual level, honestly. But fast forwarding a little bit, how did you even find out about like streaming and everything? Like how'd that even happen? How'd you get into that?
Honestly, like I said, okay, I grew up playing video games with my brother, very much console and just whatever he wanted to play is what I played. But after my brother moved out and went to college, like I never touched video games again. Like it wasn't a part of my life.
Around what age was that?
Oh my gosh. I want to say I was like, oh, he graduated high school in 2012. So I was probably in seventh or eighth grade.
Okay.
I don't even know, like 13 or 14. And I just like, I mean, that was the only games that I ever played was like Halo with him and BO3, like zombies, just like the basic games we had growing up. And that was a fun thing I did with him. So I just like never touched it again after he left. And quite literally, video games did not come back into my life until I met my husband, Luke. Like when we started dating, he was still gaming professionally and he was playing PUBG and like competing and doing major tournaments and stuff. And I won't lie, I was like, okay, this is cool. He's playing video games all the time. It didn't really bother me because I loved how much he enjoyed it and I found it intriguing and never really thought of gaming until he offered to buy me or like build me a PC because he builds all of his PCs from scratch. And I was like, I don't know, that seems like a lot of money in case I don't like it. And he was like, you know what? How about I build you one from the old parts of my PC? And I'll upgrade mine. So like I'm getting something out of this too. I think he really just wanted an excuse to upgrade everything on his PC.
Hey, master plan. I get it.
But he got it, and the first thing that I wanted to play was BO3 because that's what I played with my brother growing up, and I didn't know you could also play it on PC. So was playing BO3 and a lot of Dead by Daylight with Luke and his brother and friends because like he wanted me to play group games so that I could get into gaming, and I ended up falling in love with it. I had so much fun. I think maybe I was just naive and had no idea how many. This sounds so dumb. Like how many games there were for PC versus like console. Like I knew all the basics on console growing up and like sports games and everything, but like I felt like PC there was a whole new world of like niche games.
Right.
And had no idea about modded games and it made it so much more fun. And yeah, I got into gaming because of Luke building me a PC, finding games I was obsessed with, and randomly one day, I think I was playing BO3 online when it was still safe to do so. Don't do that anymore, kids. And
Right.
yeah, don't do that anymore. Somebody was like, man, you have like such a good voice. You should do streaming. I feel like you'd be so fun to watch streaming. And I was like, this is so random. Thanks, I think. I didn't know how to take that. And a couple of online buddies that I had gamed with, they're like, oh my God, yeah, you should stream. You're a girl. You'll get viewers. And I didn't really know what that meant. I was like, okay, sure. And I asked Luke because he had streamed before, and he was like, honestly, I think it'd be so much fun. You would love it because you are really good at making friends and building a community, and I feel like you would have so much fun. So jumped into streaming like, oh my God, I was a baby gamer. I would say I was maybe only 6 months gaming, like, and I started streaming. And
oh, wow. It's a quick turnaround time on
it
that.
was, I sucked bad. I mean, I was like baby gamer. I mean, going from like growing up on a console controller to keyboard and mouse was like bad.
Humbling.
It was really humbling, especially when you're trying to jump into shooters. I was like, I was mostly there to be laughed at, and it was fine. It was fine.
Yeah, no, I get that for sure.
But yeah, so really got into all of that because of Luke and him building a PC and him loving gaming made me. I mean, me and you've talked about this before, but like I saw how much he enjoyed it and how much it mattered to him. And so like I tried it and ended up loving it too. So it was like kind of like a mutual interest. He loved something and I tried his hobby and now I love it and it's a huge part of my life. So if you told me a couple years ago that I'd be a gamer and a streamer, I would have laughed in your face.
You just never know how things are going to just pan out, right?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, you never know. Life really shocks you, especially because of the gaming thing. I don't think I would have, if you told high school Natalie, I would have just giggled.
Yeah, no, that's 100% fair. And honestly, I was thinking about like the first time I went from like console gaming to PC gaming. And I don't know why. I didn't like play something super simple. I didn't do any like Minecraft. I was like, all right, I got a PC. Let's play Apex Legends. I couldn't hit the broadside of a barn, and I was so mad with every shot that I took. I'm like, dog, I gotta retire. I gotta start playing like Stardew Valley or something, dog, because this ain't it no more for real. So when I was saying humbling earlier, that was why like my trauma kind of
Yeah.
kicked in. Because on the controller you get like the aim assist and it's just kind of like
Yeah.
right there. And then when I spent like the better half of like my entire life up until like my like mid to late 20s, and then I got my PC later on, like God, it was like I had to relearn how to walk again.
Yeah, I will tell you, playing console like Call of Duty Black Ops was so much easier than trying to play Black Ops on PC. I was like, I swear it wasn't this bad when I was 13. What the heck?
I
Yeah.
don't know. Them 13-year-olds are kind of cracked though. They beat my ass in Fortnite. I ain't gonna lie to you. So going into the next thing here, what was like? I know you had mentioned that Luke had made you or got you like a PC. Like when you first started streaming, like frame one, you're like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna start the whole streaming thing. What was the gear looking like though? Did you have like a mic ready to go? Like that, what was even the PC parts that he kind of gave you? Like what were you looking at when you
Yeah.
started?
Gosh, Lord, you're making me go back into the vault for a second, even though I know it
That's
wasn't
right.
that long ago. But I want to say like nothing was too crazy. Everything was very budget. Like the mic I had was off Amazon. It was like a $30 mic, and it actually Luke still uses his because we had both gotten the same one, and I just cannot for the life of me. Audio Technica. It was an Audio Technica, and which actually is not a bad brand. It was pretty good. My camera was I have it right now. It was like a Logitech 1070. I think I have the same one. It's just like one step up now. Not even, but those
Yeah.
are super affordable. My PC was, I think. Almost everything that I have now is still the same. I've done some pretty big. The only big upgrade I've done is I got a new graphics card. Yeah, I had to get a new processor, new new graphics, and yeah, that was pretty much about it because everything that he had already had wasn't by his standard. It really wasn't that bad. I would say like
Yeah.
I have a 3070. Like, it just I'm like it's really not that bad. When I started, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little bit blessed. Like Luke, having been a streamer and a gamer, I really didn't get anything that was that old. But when I started like dual streaming and playing like Warzone, my PC was just having a really hard time keeping up, and it just needed a little bit of an upgrade. But other than that, like I wasn't rocking anything too fancy. But Luke, having done it before, been a streamer before, he was like, "You're not starting bare bones. We're gonna do a little bit more."
I kind of love that actually. Yeah.
So I think that helped a lot. Like, but I will say like nothing was crazy expensive. Like I really only upgraded and got a couple more things like a new mic and things as we went. But I was really lucky because the PC he built me from the start really wasn't anything that needed to be completely upgraded later on.
Yeah.
The only fancy thing that he wanted to do is he added some like RGBs and like thing because he wanted it to
Nice.
look nice.
Right.
But gosh, I'm sorry. I'm hoping that's answering your question. But it
No,
really
no,
wasn't
you're
anything.
nailing it. No, you're absolutely nailing it. And honestly, I wish I would have had like a Luke in my life, honestly, for real, because I was a mess. I had like a fold out table, and I was streaming from my Xbox, and then I later on found out that you couldn't plug a webcam into my Xbox One, so I had to borrow my buddy's Xbox Connect.
Oh god.
And then I plugged that Connect in, but then the like lag would build on itself. So then my mouth would start moving, and then my audio would like catch up later on. And it was like a really bad foreign movie with like trying to do like a voiceover. And I had to like turn my stream off, turn it back on again to get the audio on sync for a good like maybe 10, 15 minutes. And then it would go off the rails again, reading chat off of my phone, propped up with this little clip that I got from Five Below, and a random like Mad Catz like headset. It was a trip. So hey, I wish I would have had a Luke in my life. He would have hooked me up and set me on the way. But like I didn't know anybody who even knew how to do any of that stuff too. So
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
Luke was the only person in my life that I knew that was, this sounds so weird, but like was a PC gamer. I guess I wasn't really like, I had only really been around console. I knew that people gamed on I called computers, like PCs. I knew that was a thing, but
Yeah.
I didn't know there was like a huge world. Like me being naive, I was like, oh yeah, console. That's where everyone games at. Yeah, no.
Right.
I had no idea about any of it until dating Luke and yeah, no, I'm so lucky to have him and what he did because when he was like, I'm going to build you a PC, I was like, you can do that. I was like, you can just like build something like that? And he's like, yeah, I've done it I do it all the time. I've done so many. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
It's so impressive because like even now I'm like, ugh, my computer's getting kind of old. Like my buddy learned how to build these on his own like really, really well. But if I need to get a new computer, I'm just going to get either a pre-build or just offer my buddy dinner because like there's just so many ways that can go off the rails that I wouldn't even touch it. I'm like, nah, I'm cool. So, let Luke know I might be hitting him up here soon, for some PC bills.
I will tell you, man, with all the stuff I'm seeing with all the AI taking all of the little
all the RAM and everything.
Yeah. Pre-built's gonna probably be the way to go for a while, sadly. I know, Luke and I were chatting, and I was like, "Looks like this is our last pre-built for a while. Good thing that we upgraded our stuff." Like,
yeah, you just beat the curve then.
I know. Yeah.
All right. So then, you had a dope little jump into the whole process there. You got the whole setup going, and now you got to play a game for stream. Like, how did you pick the game that you wanted to stream? Like, what was that decision-making process that you did there?
Gosh, so first thing as being a baby gamer, I did not like playing games alone. So it wasn't that it wasn't fun. I just had a hard time staying focused and like wanting to like do a longer gaming session if I was playing by myself. Like I just did not enjoy it. I liked talking to people in the community and like just getting to do that. So the first stuff I ever streamed was BO3 Zombies, and I had
which is Black Ops 3 for anyone who does not know.
I'm sorry.
The occasional non-gamer may like watch this or listen to this. We're gonna have like bakers on the stream maybe one day and stuff like that. They go, "What is BO3?"
So BO3 is like short for Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Gosh, I don't even know how old it is now. It's been around for a minute. There was a BO1, Black Ops 1, and BO2, and then BO3 was just kind of
What are they on right now? Like 7 or something like that?
Jesus, I don't even know.
Man, it will not stop.
But like BO1 through BO3 was just the creme de la creme. It was, you just can't beat the zombies and the maps from that time. It was just nostalgic and amazing. But that's what I started streaming because that's what I knew. That was the game I grew up playing. And like I said, it was so nostalgic. Kino is my favorite map. Like that was just what I wanted to play because that's what I knew. And I had, you could play online, and so I would meet people, play with friends that I'd met there. Like my first gaming friends my first online friends I met on BO3, and that's just who I would message them. Hey, I want to stream tonight. Do you want a game? Do you want to play some zombies? And we would. That's what we would do. And so when I would pick a game, it was always like, okay, I want to do it with people. I want to play with other people. So I did Among Us because I knew you could do it with group friends, like big groups of people. And then I loved doing party games because I knew that other people would play like Pummel Party. That was when somebody introduced to me. It's a lot like, oh my gosh, like a Mario Party back in the day. It's just kind of a really good, fun group game. So anytime I would go to pick a game, then I was going to go streaming. It was always not solo. Like I just did not enjoy streaming solo. I wanted somebody to talk to, and I know it's not, but at first I was like, it's going to be so awkward playing a game where it's just me. No one's going to talk to me. That was just me being a young, naive streamer. Like it was more, I was focused on more like, people are going to jump into my stream. I'm just going to be sitting there like playing a game and they're going to be like bored. And I just like, it took me a long time to realize like, just play a game that you enjoy, and people that will enjoy watching you enjoy playing a game, if that makes sense. Like it just,
no, it does. And
when I first started out, I just was too scared to play a game by myself, and I really wanted to play with groups of people. And to this day, I still enjoy group gaming more because I love the group aspect and friend aspect of it. Like I have so many friendships that are dear to me that are like online friends that I haven't even met in person. Like you're one of them. And so it just like, it matters to me. I love playing with other people online. And so, gosh, I'd say very rarely do I ever pick a game where I'm like, it's just me. And one of those is Power World. That was like one of the only games I've ever streamed that it was just me. I love that game. But yeah, anytime I would go to pick a game, especially when I was a baby streamer, it was always some sort of group game, some sort of mutual aspect, because I was just like, I needed people to talk to. I needed the courage.
Yeah, no, that's 100% fair. Like streaming to 0 people is a certain form of mental torture that I would not wish upon my worst enemy. So, and it's crazy because, going from 0 viewers to 1 viewer is a night and day experience.
It
like just
is.
one person just talking to you in the chat will turn your entire night around. It's like genuinely insane. But yeah, that 0 viewer hell is a different type of pain. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah.
But with that viewership though, did you ever look at the numbers? Did you ever look at like, well, Power World may do better than Black Ops viewership wise? Were you ever into the metrics of it all?
Oh my gosh, yes. If I'm being so completely honest, like being a perfectionist that I am and like was obsessed with doing well, especially in the beginning, I was like huge into like the numbers and like what people would enjoy more. Like that was something I struggled with as a baby streamer was like I don't want to play something people are interested in watching. And so like it was I was so in my head and like what game is going to get the most viewership or finding out which game on Twitch had like niche viewers and like hoping they would come watch me and not other people. And so it was just like I really struggled with staring at the numbers and trying to get like more viewers. And I don't know, in my head, I was like, maybe I can make this a thing. I can quit my day job. And I don't know, like it just, I really got stuck on that. And I think that's what kind of burned me out for a while. Like I was on a strict schedule. I was streaming 3 times a week. And for me, it kind of turned into like a checklist thing. And I lost my love of gaming. And so that's kind of why like I'd stepped back from the schedule and it made me love it all over again. Mm-hmm. But I think that once I stepped away and stopped staring at the numbers, it got a lot easier. But yes, in the beginning, I was so stuck on that and like what games I felt like I had more viewership or like more people in my chat. But yeah, I absolutely in the beginning was like so on that.
Yeah, same. And it's hard to not, people are like,
Yeah.
oh, don't look at the numbers. And it's just like, it's weird because when you put so much time and energy into something, you want to like see how it's doing basically.
Yes.
And at first, what I used to do is I used to have like, you have like your little view count on the top of your OBS or whatever.
Yeah.
And I had to turn that off because it would stress me out so bad. If I would see the number go up, I'm like, oh my God, the dopamine would hit. And then I'd be like having a good time. I'm like, all right, cool. And then I would watch the number go do like 0,
Yeah.
1. And I'm like, okay, guess I'm just going to go run out in rush hour. And then I just couldn't handle it. It was like, it would just make my emotions go up and down like the entirety of my entire stream. And I just felt so like not okay. And then I remember the first stream that I turned my view count off. I just didn't know where I was at. And I was just vibing. It was probably like the best stream I had ever had up until that point, just because I didn't know who was in there, who wasn't in there. So I always assumed that maybe like 1 or 2 people were just always there because mentally that was okay. So even if there was a goose egg, I'm like, there's probably one guy in there watching,
Yeah.
But it's hard to just not pay attention to those numbers at all whatsoever. And even in the game category too. Like everyone plays that game, they're like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
This person has this many viewers. I'll get drowned out here. This is oversaturated. And then you end up playing something. And then ultimately, if you don't love it, then you end up hating yourself even more. Even if you get the viewership and you hate the game.
Yeah.
I remember there was this streamer. I was talking to her. It's like probably 4 years ago or so. She got really, really big on a game. I think fast forward, she quit streaming. And she told me that she used to cry at her keyboard before she hit go live every stream because she hated the game, but it would give her good viewership. So she felt like she had to do it. And when she told me that, I was like, damn, that's tough.
Yeah.
But because it was doing so well for her, it was helping with her bills. She had her day job, but this was really helping her like live better. So she was like, I'm just stuck. And that story just lives rent free in my head where I'm like, it's not worth it. Like the viewership is never really worth it. I mean, if it's not like murdering you, then maybe you can kind of like play around with the idea, but it was like destroying her to the point where she quit. So, the metrics can be nice and useful, but I've also seen the dark side of those metrics as well. So but like you had mentioned, like, oh my God, I could probably quit my day job and do this shit though. Like it's got some perks though. Let's keep it a buck. It's got some perks. It's kind of fun, especially when things are going well. You got your chat coming in here. Everyone's having a good time. You're playing with your buddies. The vibes are super high. We've lost every match of Valorant, but like, my God, we were having such a great time. Don't even think about the RR. But did you ever want to be like, I don't know. Did you have like the idea of like maybe I could be one of the big guys? You know, I could be one of the big streamers. You know?
Oh my God, yes. God, that was a dream for a while. And it's not that it's not a possibility. It just didn't seem like, right now it doesn't seem like it's in the cards, but like in the beginning, gosh, I will say, especially when I first started streaming, I did have like a really strong viewership. I I think that it's just like being a girl. I don't know why. Not that I was like doing anything crazy, but like it helped a lot, I assume. But I really thought, I was like, man, if I keep this up and I'm consistent, like maybe this could become a thing. Like maybe I could quit my day job. Maybe do have a part-time job and stream. Like the idea of being paid to game for a living, oh, that sounds so great. That
Yeah, it
sounds
does.
amazing. But I absolutely, oh my gosh, yes. In the beginning, I like I could be the next one, you know?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think I saw a stat a while ago, and it was like the platform of Twitch at some point was like 80% male, 20% female.
Yeah.
So like everyone, I always say that everyone has an unfair advantage in some kind of category. So you're like,
Yeah.
oh, cool, I'm a girl, you know? And truth be told, even girls play video games, girls watch
Yeah.
Twitch. So if they're like trying to find a girl that they can resonate with, cool, you pop up. Um, on the flip side too, I think you're hilarious. I think that you have a great personality, you know?
Thanks.
So it's not like I'm girl, I show up, where's my viewers, you know, like you bring a lot to
Yeah.
the table, so that
Well,
definitely helps.
I think a lot of it had to do with, and it's something that I noticed early on, and like maybe it's just because I'm not a shy person. I don't know. In my category when I was playing Black Ops, that Call of Duty Black Ops 3, I was like the only person that had my camera on, like a stream that had
Really?
like a webcam, and I was also like the only girl when BO3 viewership was very small. Like it was not. I mean, maybe 2 to 5,000. Like it was very, very small. And being like one of the only people with a on webcam and also being a girl, I feel like that maybe helped a little bit. But
Oh yeah, for sure.
like and that was another thing with like when I would play other small games. I say small games, they're not really that small, but like Dead by Daylight and Phasmophobia, because I went through a phase where I love, and I still do, but like loved horror games. Like that was something I moved on to after BO3 died, rest in peace. But like when that wasn't safe to play anymore, I kind of moved on to horror games. And like same thing, I feel like a lot of people didn't have webcams on. It was more like the avatars or just like no webcam, and I feel like that maybe helped a little bit, but yeah, I don't
I
know.
mean, I think that definitely helped out a lot of it because, like, in my experience and what I've noticed is that when people have the webcam, you have a face to the person you're talking
Yeah.
to instead of this entity behind some screen that you have no idea who you're talking to, which kind of makes it hard to like connect with that person. And I mean, even you jumping around to these like at the time like niche games, and you had mentioned there was like a what 3 to 5 thousand viewers for people
was
who
really
don't
small.
know. It's like we're saying small, and the people are like, that's a lot of people. Like the bigger channel or the bigger like games, they'll go to like 50,000 people. I think the Just
Even
Chatting's
more,
got like
yeah.
300,000 people. So
Yeah.
5K is like nothing, you know?
Yeah.
So that's some smart pivoting you were even doing to kind of like not get too buried within those. And
Luke was a
yeah.
big help with that because he had obviously like an insight into it because he, for a short time, he was a professional gamer and streamer. That's what he did for a living. Like that was his only source of income. So he was like, I know like what people are looking for and what areas you should be in. And so that helped a lot. But I definitely think the viewership as far as like how many people were actually watching that game category helped a lot.
You know, talking about Luke here, I saw that you got engaged around March 27th, 2022. And then you got married December that same year. Yeah. Things seem to be going super well. You guys were like madly in love. And I'm just going through this and I'm like, oh my God, what goals these guys are. Like, run me, how'd you guys meet?
I was screaming. He came with the receipts. He said, I'm going to look
I'm
at your Instagram.
Doing my job here as a great podcaster. You got to do my research, you know?
Oh my God, that is so funny. Yeah, so, oh man. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When I tell people that Luke and I were only dating for 8 months, we were only dating 8 months before we got engaged. People are like, you're crazy. I know that sounds insane to most people, but Luke is a little bit older than me. He was definitely really mature in the area of his life where he was like looking for a wife. He wasn't looking for a girlfriend. He was like, I'm very seriously looking for someone to share my life with and a lifelong partner. And it's so funny. I knew him kind of before. We actually met or reconnected on Bumble, dating app. Woohoo.
Yeah.
And
Hey, in this day and age, I can get it. Tough out here.
I actually knew him before. So his younger brother and younger sister were all at school with me. Like we all went to high school together, and we didn't run in the same circle, but like had a lot of mutual friends. I always like knew who they were. And so I knew Luke because in my head, oh, that's Leah's older brother. Like I just knew who he was because I knew his little sister and I was friends with her. Right. And we actually went to the same church camp together. He was a counselor and I was a student, and we actually played on the same co-ed volleyball team. And this is actually really funny because when I matched with him on Bumble, he didn't remember who I was. And that's fine, because if we're being realistic, the counselor should not remember the student. That's
I mean, fair. I guess I hadn't thought about
good.
that. Yeah, okay.
That's very good. But like I said, I always just knew him as Leah's older brother. So whenever I messaged him and I was like, aren't you Leah's older brother? He's like, wait, do I know you? This is kind of creepy. And I was like, I swear we know each other. It's not weird. Like,
right. I mean, if I got that message out random and I'm like, who is this right now? Yeah, that freaked me out.
I had to explain to him, like, we go to the same church, like same church camp. You were a counselor, played on the same volleyball team. Sweet man, but like still didn't remember me. That's fine. Clearly, I didn't leave an impression as a 17-year-old girl. That's okay. That's fine.
Fair. I mean, should have played better, honestly, but it's fine.
I'm pretty sure we lost, so like that's it's so on me.
You can't remember
that's
the losers, Yeah, no.
But I mean, I still tease him about it to this day. Like, hey, we actually didn't meet for the first time in Bumble, but that's fine. Like,
right.
Whatever. But yeah, so we met there. We started dating, and it was kind of like a quick jump into things as far as like, because I knew him in real life and knew his family. Like, I feel like we jumped over the like, you're not an axe murderer thing. Like,
that helps. Yeah.
We met in person, started hanging out and dating in real life very quickly because like I didn't feel like he was a weirdo that I met online. Mm-hmm. Like, we had so many mutual situations going on. Like, I felt safe with him, and we dated very intentionally and just like talked very early on about morals, our goals in life, like if we wanted kids. Like, we just very much jumped into like, what do we want in this life, and is this somebody I want to share my life with? And so I think that kind of helped. And like I said, dated 8 months. I knew that he was going to be my person. He knew I was going to be his person, and then got engaged in March. And I always wanted like a fall wedding, like wintry kind of wedding. And the lease on my apartment, me and my best friend's apartment, was about to renew, and I was like, okay, guess we got to do this kind of quickly, because otherwise we're going to be looking for somewhere to live, and it's just like not going to be great. So yeah, we were only engaged for a few months, and I was actually, you actually may not know this, I used to be a professional event planner and a wedding planner, and like I did that for several years, and so I kind of knew the ins and outs. Everything got done very quickly, and we eloped.
I did not know that. Oh my God. That definitely helps the process for sure.
Planning a wedding was like super easy. And we ended up both like because I'd done weddings so much in my state and had worked with like every vendor, I really didn't want to get married here because I was like, it feels like choosing one vendor over another. I've also done a million weddings at all of these venues. Not that they weren't beautiful. It was just like, when you've done a million weddings at all these places, you don't really want to get married at them. I don't know. So
yeah, no, I can see that.
We got married in the mountains in Breckenridge because we both love the mountains, love snowboarding and skiing and being in the snow. And his uncle actually had a big Airbnb up there that he let us use, and it just ended up working out great.
I love that. Heck yeah.
So yeah, very short like dating and turnaround to marriage. But I would say like, I think our intentions behind it and our communication, which I feel like we have really good communication, helped a lot. So.
Okay, nice. What a wild story, by the way. Just had no idea the lore went that deep. That's crazy.
There's so much to know.
Yeah, I see that. So along that same vein, though, he was a professional gamer. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. Is he still a professional gamer or?
He hasn't. So he plays PUBG Battlegrounds. And it's weird. He was, I think, a couple months ago. How it works is you have to like qualify. Like, you play ranked and you qualify for certain tournaments, and then you're considered a pro. Right. And him and his team qualified a few months ago for I think I might have mentioned it to you, but like at September they did like he was involved in like a really big tournament. I think that was the last time he was considered pro. You had to like keep up with it and keep qualifying for stuff to still be considered. So I don't think that he is now because him and his team haven't been playing to do that. But that's how it works in PUBG, to my understanding, is like when you qualify to a certain level of like tournament or like make it to a certain point, you are then considered a pro. So
Gotcha. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I've never won a tournament, so he's
Same.
just always a professional in my eyes. So
That's how
that
I
still
view
counts.
it, so.
Yeah, fair enough. But like knowing that, and you guys did move quickly, so it had to have crossed your mind, like, okay, this guy is a gamer. You said you hadn't really thought about gaming too much since your brother left for college. So then you see this guy who's gaming. Were you like, is that a red flag? I mean, you kind of knew him before, but like someone who's that invested in gaming to the, normal casual person who just lives their life, most people would look at that and be like, ugh, I'm not sure if I want to do that. Like, what was your thoughts going into a relationship with a hardcore gamer like that?
Yeah, I totally get that. I mean, I won't lie, because he was so intentional and we had so much communication. Like, I never felt like he was choosing video games over me. Like, if that makes sense. Like, there was never a time where I was like, hey, we should go on a date tonight, that he was like, no, I'm going to game instead. Like, there was never a point where I felt like he was choosing that over me. He had set practice days with his team, and he had the days that his competition was that he was, competing. And so, like, I knew ahead of time. Like, he was very good at having, like, a schedule. Because, like I said, at that time, he was a professional. He was competing at a very, very high level when we first started dating. And so, like, when you're at that level of gaming, there are, like, you have practice days. You have days that you're going through, and, like, it's, like, a whole thing. But he was so communicative and, like, making sure that these are the days I'm practicing. These are the days me and you can go out and spend time together and go to dinner and whatever it is. So I won't lie, I think maybe at the beginning, whenever he told me he was a professional gamer, I was like, this is kind of weird. I don't even know what that is. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Right.
And nowadays, kids are going to college on like full esports scholarships. That was like
True.
not a thing when I was in high school. So like, I just didn't get it. And now that I do, and like even when we were dating, like how he explained it to me, I was a little weirded out at first, but I wasn't scared away, and it was never a red flag. Like, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Especially because I could see how passionate he was and how much mattered to him. I viewed it no different than when I played soccer at a very competitive level. It was his mindset was so similar. So I was like, it's no different than how serious I was trying to be the best that I could be when I was playing soccer. So like, that's kind of the way his mindset was, and how he was so intentional about it, and that it didn't scare me away.
Right. So a couple things that really just piqued my interest in that description that you had there for everything. You had mentioned, I didn't feel like he chose gaming over me. Do you feel like most people would do that? Do you see like that's like mostly an issue with certain relationships, just from your point of view, because in my experience, not for everyone, but and obviously I'm not a woman, so I can't speak to the other side fully. But in my experience, most of the people that have been in my life and in my friends' lives, the other individual is not usually a fan of the gaming side of our lives usually, and I've heard that before, where like they feel like you're choosing gaming over the relationship or something like that. So what would be your advice, basically, since Luke was like Bane that got out of the cave in Batman, and we're all looking at him like, oh my God, he did it. This is crazy. Like, if you could give any of the single men listening to this right now, like, oh my God, like what do we have to do to not look like massive red flags in the dating scene for that?
Gosh, I think for me, the biggest thing was like I could see how much it mattered to him and how passionate he was about it and how hard he had worked to get to the level that he was at. Like, he was PUBG, like, surprisingly, the professional gaming community is like very small. Like, everyone knows each other. I could see how respected he was by his peers and other people that competed at a global level. Like, they all knew him, and like seeing how much it mattered to him and how much he was dedicated to putting time into it. This sounds so weird. It was actually really attractive, because I was like, if this man is like so passionate and driven by this thing, like, what other things in life is he going to be like this? Like, and it shows.
Right.
Like other areas of our lives and our marriage, like he is that way. Like, and when he sets his mind to something, he does it. It does not matter how long it takes; it's going to get done. And so, my advice is like I said, he never made me feel like he was choosing video games over me because he was so intentional with like, hey, I had like a really long day. Like, can I just like chill online tonight? I'm like, absolutely. Like, but it wasn't an everyday thing, or it was like a, hey, I really just like want to play some video games tonight. Do you want to play or do you want to watch? Or like, would you want to try a new game? Like he always tried to involve me or like let me know what was on his mind, what was going on. So like, it was just very much the communication aspect. And I will say there's a difference between men who are intentional or like, hey, I love video games. I love doing this. I want to spend my time on it, but I never want to spend time with you. Like there's a difference between like,
I can see that.
I feel like it's just communication, like letting somebody know how important it's like any other hobby, right? Like if I loved running, I don't. I fucking hate running. But like if I can't, I played soccer my whole life and I hated running. Anyways.
You did your time. Yeah.
I did my time. It's fine. But like if I was like an avid runner and I was training for a marathon, obviously like there's a lot of hard work that goes into that and you need to run every day, whether that's morning, evening, whatever your schedule looks like. The people in your life are going to know that and need to adjust to that. Like you wouldn't ask your partner who is super invested in training for a marathon, hey, can you just like not run today? Can you just like not train this week? I feel like,
right.
You know, it's just not fair. Like why would you take somebody's hobbies and interests away from them? Like I just don't feel like that's fair. And like, for instance, I love, if you can't tell, I love building Lego and I love crocheting and like I'm a crafty person and I would never want Luke to come to me and be like, I just feel like you're spending way too much time on this. Like, I don't think you should be doing this anymore. Focus more on me.
Right.
So I feel like it's very much communication and just like figuring out what works for you. And I know that's easier said than done, but it's just like know your person and find those. Like you just had to find compromise. Like, and I will say Luke is really lucky that his partner tried something he loved and they love it now too. I can't say that happens for everybody. Like I love gaming because he introduced his hobby to me and I ended up being obsessed with it. But for those that doesn't happen to, it's just like hope your partner has a hobby, you have gaming as a hobby, and like figure out a way that you can enjoy those things on your own time or together. Like I know a lot of couples that the woman doesn't game. She loves to read and color and do other things. And she'll sit in the room with him while he's gaming and read her book and do it. It's like figuring out what works for you. And I feel like that only works if you have good communication. So
no, honestly, I think those are some solid takeaways. The compatibility, first of all, because if it's just not, the chemistry's not there, then it won't matter. But the biggest part of that for sure is the communication. I love how you were pretty much saying like, even if he needed that time, he would even try to include you. Yeah. I think that's big too. So it's not like I have my thing, go into the other room, I'll talk to you when I talk to you. I think that communication and that compromise on both ends can definitely go a long way. And, you know, professional gamer on and off the computer, you know, he's out here being a pro in the relationship life too. Apparently he's just crushing it. So I love that.
I will say something that was really, really big for me, and I'm not somebody who does this, but there are days where I would like come home and I'm like, I really just need like, can we just like go to dinner? I really want to spend time with you. Like, I really just need some one-on-one time. And he was like, well, I was going to scrim with the boys tonight, but you know what? Like, let me just tell them I'll get on late and like, we'll go to dinner and I'll come back and I'll get on. So it's like finding that balance. I would never put him in that position often, but there are times if I had a hard day, babe, can we please just like get out for a second? It's just like figuring a way to communicate. But it's like, I never, and I don't believe in doing this, but like people who are like, you have to choose this or me, like choose that. It's either that or
like
it's
an ultimatum.
Like, don't ever do that. Like, I just don't feel like that's fair. I don't know. It's just like, now if I had been like, babe, I really need like some us time. Like, I really want us to get out and go on a date, like whatever it is. And he's like, I'm so sorry. Like, I didn't know we were going to do this. This was last minute, but I had this prior commitment with my team. Then it's like, that wasn't fair for me, you know, to like put that on him when he had something that was already planned and I tried to spring on something spontaneously. So it's just like, I don't know. Just figure out that balance and don't ever do ultimatums. I just don't think that's fair. It's not cool because that just means you just got to communicate better, you know?
Yeah, no, I would say so. Or you gotta do some therapy because there's a much bigger issue happening.
Yeah,
you know,
for real,
but we ain't here for that conversation right now. So you know, so pushing along here. I saw also that, you guys did this Instagram reel where there was like hoodies being taken. And he was like, oh, that's my, I watched that whole thing. It was the cutest thing I ever seen in my goddamn life. And it seems like you guys are like in a really good spot with like even making the one-off video and having the occasional stream and stuff like that. Now, with your streaming and creating content, like what's next for you in that streaming journey?
Oh man. For me, like you said earlier, I'm very much in like the space where when I feel like streaming and it feels right, then I'll stream, I'll get on. Like what's next for me is I just want to continue streaming and gaming because I love to, not because I feel like I have to. Like I feel like I've gotten so much better about bringing that joy back and enjoying content creating and doing all that. Like I had burned myself out so much by doing things I thought would please other people instead of doing what I wanted to do. So I think what's next for me is just continuing to game and stream when I feel like it feels right and doing it because I want to and because I love it and just knowing that people will be there for me and support me like if they want to be. So
Right. But like run me through like that work-life balance though. Like how do you balance it all, because you're trying to game, you're trying to stream, you got a husband that you're trying to nurture that relationship, you got a freaking other business you're trying to get off the ground here. Like how do you juggle all that?
I will say most days it does look like a hard day at work. I come home, maybe it's a bowl of cereal for dinner, not cooking.
Fair.
Maybe
Mood.
it's gaming and not streaming because like I just don't have the face for it that night. Like nobody wants to look at me with an RBF while I'm streaming. Like it just you never know. Or like maybe it looks like trying to plan ahead of time and like hype myself up a little bit. Like, you know what, I really want to stream Monday. I'm going to stream Monday. I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to do it. And just like being excited for it. So like very much the balance is rolling with the punches. And it really is like a vibe for me. Like every day, like if I want to game and not stream, then that's okay. And so it's just kind of like very much taking it as it comes. Cause I will tell you, especially being married and sharing a life with someone, like it's so hard to like really plan it all to a T. Because like you want to have a little bit of spontaneity and like it just, I don't know, like for me it's very day by day, and the way I try to juggle it is I just do my best every day.
Yeah, I mean that's all you can do at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
And the way I kind of look at it too, in like my perspective of when it comes to work-life balance, is that work-life balance is kind of a trick in my opinion because of how people mention it, like, oh, you just have to balance everything evenly, but like it looks different for everyone. Like someone is 100% okay with like, dude, I'll come home, I have like 15 minutes to eat before I turn on my stream, I got like a frozen thing in there, I heat it up for 5 minutes and a Red Bull and I'm ripping it and I'm like happy, I'm in a good place. Somebody else would be like, bro, I literally could not do that, I would want to just crash out every night. But like what's good for me isn't good for someone else. And, you're out here taking bowls of cereal to the head. I get it. I felt that. But not everyone can do that. So I always say that everyone's like work-life balance is going to be different and just kind of find what works best for you, basically.
Yeah. And that's what I mean by being day by day, because not only like is it me and Luke, we also have Wally and Watson, our two corgis, and I don't care what people say, dogs and kids feel even to me because the way those dudes need all of my attention and are glued to me 24/7. So it's like trying to balance. Obviously, those are Luke and I's fur children, and it's like I want to help out with them when I can. But if I'm like getting home from work, rushing to eat, coming in here, shutting my door to stream, he's stuck with them the rest of the evening and has to parent the rest of the night all by himself. And so it's just like trying to figure out, hey, do you have the bandwidth today to like take care of the boys so I can go get a couple hours stream in, like whatever it is. So it is very much like in the moment, talking it out, figuring it out. And when I'm lucky, sometimes he'll do the stream with me and he'll play Valorant too. So it's just like, yeah, we just got to
win-win. Yeah, no, I love that. And yeah, dogs are a lot of work. And so much so, that's why I don't have one. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to have to wake up at the ass crack of dawn to freaking walk them out so they can use the bathroom. And if I miss it, they're crapping all over the floors or they found some random lint ball they're chewing on and now throwing up on my carpet because they don't know what's happening. You were streaming the other day and one of the dogs like Dutch ovened your entire streamer room
Yeah.
and took a fart and just
Yeah.
you just were choking in between the rounds. And
Yep.
I'm like, that's crazy. So like you just never quite know what's gonna happen with the puppers there. And
Yeah,
I
they keep
chose
me
to
on my
just walk away
toes.
from it. It's a lot of work.
They really, and they're sassy. My two are so sassy. They're cute as hell, but God, they're sassy.
But they are cute though. Yeah, they're
Mm-hmm.
cute. So that's definitely a silver lining in my opinion. So you have work-life balance going on. You have a pretty good, you know, I want to say like idea of what your life is kind of like, you know, falling into. At the time of posting this, it will be 2026. So we're going to be doing all kinds of crazy new things.
It's our year.
It's going to be our year for sure. I got a good
Yeah.
feeling about it. I can't prove it, but it's going to be a good year.
Hey, it's my lucky year, or I say my lucky year. I just turned 27 yesterday, and 27 is my lucky number. So I'm like, 2026 is going to be my year. So-
2026, 7. Okay, I'm done. We're leaving that in 2025
Fired.
when we recorded this.
Fired.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Oh my god. Anyway, I can edit that if I need to. So you are doing the virtual assistant business stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
What does that even mean exactly?
Gosh, so like the best way to explain it, so like me and my best friend, we're both project coordinators where we work right now, which think of it a little bit like project management. We just keep the chaos at a minimum and keep everybody organized and in line. And we decided we wanted to try to start our own business, which we have. And it's a virtual assistant business. And it's basically like a catch-all. Like we can do administrative work for companies. We can do project coordination. We can do project management. We have like the skill set to be able to accomplish what we feel like we'd need to for a company. And really the overall thing with being a virtual assistant is don't think of us as like a permanent employee at your company. Think of us like, you know, I really need more help. I don't really have the funds to hire on a whole new person, but I really need somebody for a couple months for this busy season. Hire us on as like a contract worker and we'll get shit done for you.
I love that.
So it's very much like a temporary help with whatever we need to for the company, obviously virtually, but we really see ourselves just being able to help companies grow and like really build up to what they could be. Like our goal is to really help companies out of a tough spot and to really grow their business without having to like really thin themselves out. You know, we want to be there to support and help them where we can.
How did you even come up with this idea?
Yeah, it's actually like, it's so weird how we stumbled across it. I think it was like a TikTok or somebody talking about virtual assistants. And I was like, what even is that? And when I discovered what it was, I was like, that's literally what I do every day at work at a 9 to 5 job at a desk that I can't leave. So it was just like, I could do this on my own time, like as my own boss. I have all the qualifications for this. I should
Sounds
just do
great.
it.
Yeah.
And so when me and my best friend Janie, who we both are in the same position at our company, just on 2 different teams, I was like, we should get the heck out of Dodge. We should just do this ourselves. And truly, like, there's a market for it. And we've talked to people and talked with companies, and like, we just feel like that this could actually be something. And that's what kind of made us do it. It's like, hey, I could do what I'm already doing, but on my own time with whatever clients I want to, instead of having to work under a manager that doesn't know what they're doing. So.
No, I love that. And like you had mentioned your best friend.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, we're going into business together. Let's do this. You can do it. I can do it. Let's just, you know, run this thing. Why them? You know, I'm sure you've heard a million different times, don't go into a business with your best friends. And you could have probably asked a million different people, because I'm sure you work with other people. Like what makes you think that was like a good idea? Why her? Like, run me through that.
So before I was on the team that I'm on now, we were actually on a team. This is actually so weird. Started on 2 different teams. I got promoted within my team to the same position that she's on her team. For a short span, we were actually on the same team because my team went bye-bye. Whole thing we don't need to get into. Anyways,
Okay.
I got moved to her team. We were co-project coordinators, and we just got super close. So we became like work besties. That was my work wife. Whole thing. And we just like were really unhappy with the way things are at our company. We just like with our teams, a little bit of an unrest, like been there for a long time. There was no growth opportunities. We feel like we could be doing something better. And when we found those videos of the virtual assistant stuff, I'm not even kidding you. It was like a movie. I looked at her. We started talking about it. I said, do you just want to, should we just, she was like, yes, we should.
She just knew.
Yeah. Like we just like, and also it's so picking her was like easy because we just like, how do I explain this? We just like click. Our brains just like work together really well. We are so good at filling each other's gaps. Like something that I don't understand, she does, like, and vice versa. Like, and I know people always say this, but she's truly a best friend that I can be so real with. Like I can be like, Janie, you're a fucking idiot. What are you doing? And she's like, yeah, you're right. I need to work on this. Like, we're just, I know that sounds harsh, but it's just like,
no, that sounds great. Especially for business too.
We're those types of people that like, I also don't really get my feelings hurt. Like she can be so real with me. Like, not, you are really slacking like in this area and I really need you to do better. Like, I feel like I'm alone. Like we can be so real with each other. And it just, I feel like that's so important. And that's why I feel like a business with her will be successful because we can be so open and real with each other and we make each other better people. Like I've called her out. She's called me out. Like, but also I don't get butthurt about little things and neither does she. And I feel like that's why it works.
I think that's very important actually, because most of the time when people do give that feedback to their best friend, they do get butthurt and then it fractures the relationship and then someone doesn't want to work anymore and then the drama ensues. But because you guys are able to do that, that sounds kind of promising, honestly.
I will say, like, I feel like me and her, we both talked about this. We both feel like really emotionally intelligent. And that's probably why we don't take that stuff personally. Like when she's telling me to do better, like not, I feel like you've really been slacking in this area or whatever it is. I know she's not doing it to offend me. Like I'm not someone who takes that kind of stuff personally. Like if a friend comes to you with a piece of advice, they're not, a real friend is not coming at you with insults. So it's just like, it's back to the communication thing, like having good communication. And I feel like Jay and I, her name's Janie, but it's like, I call her Jay. We just really mesh. And I just, like I said, we really fill each other's gaps. Like I come from a very big creative background. She comes from like an admin and more, she's a lot more mentally organized than I am, but like very much more like, logical and like tech background. And so like, we just kind of complete each other in those areas. And I really think it'll work. And mostly it's because we can just have open, raw communication. And I won't lie, my dad even said the first thing you said, like, is it smart going into business with your best friend? I'm like, honestly, I can't imagine going into business with anybody else because she knows she can't do anything that I won't miss. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna, you know what I mean? It's just like, we can be so open with each other and I know where she lives.
Yeah, that helps. Definitely. No, I love that. And I think that the dynamic that you guys have gives you guys the best at bat at making that work. Because like I said before, most friendships aren't able to give other friends genuine feedback without someone taking it personally, especially like in a business sense. So I think that's a huge like advantage you guys have as far as your relationships are concerned. So that's huge. But like where like has this like launched now though, right? Like you've started this whole thing, like it's getting off the ground. Like,
yeah, I think, oh gosh, I think it went official, like actual LLC, registered with the state, everything. I think that was in June. And so it's like official. It was a little bit slow going just because like we both still have our full-time day jobs. Janie had some stuff she was going through in her life. My life was really busy. And it was just one of those, like we were able to get some work done for my brother. He's a realtor. Like we used him as kind of like a test subject to make sure everything we had set up worked, all of the things we wanted for the business. He was kind of our like, hey, use us as a discount so we can like figure out all of our processes and you get work out of it. And my brother was like, dope. So like we did a little bit of work here and there for him and some realtors, and it just has been slow going because life has just been crazy. But we figured, next year's quarter one, we can really just hit it hard. And I think our goal for this year is to really grow the business and fingers crossed, like being able to leave our day jobs for it full time, because that would be amazing.
That would be the dream, even some would say. I mean, I know you're just kind of getting started in all of this right now, but like, what have been some early like hurdles that you've come across already with like starting this new virtual thing?
One hurdle was obviously like when you are a virtual assistant and you are contracted with somebody, and you're working on whatever they need help on and you're having to record that time, I don't think we originally calculated for like in our heads we think we know how long something will take. Well, when you're new into an area, like I have no idea about realtor things until my brother was like, I need you to organize these spreadsheets for me. And it had lingo that I was like, I don't know what any of this is. I don't know what these words mean, whatever. So it was something that we'd run into is just like, we thought, oh, we can organize an Excel sheet in 30 minutes, like easy. But organize an Excel sheet for an area of work that you've never worked in looks completely different. So I think one of the hurdles we ran into is just like kind of figuring out timing and how to charge clients properly for that, because we didn't feel comfortable charging a client for 6 hours of work because it took us 6 hours to figure out what was going on. But when you break it down, it was only 3 hours of actual work. So it's kind of like balancing those kinds of things. So I think it's just like little details and hurdles like that we ran into. And we're still going to be figuring it out because every client's going to be a little bit different, but it's navigating it as we go is going to be the key.
Yeah, trial and error is usually the greatest teacher, so I can definitely see that. And what about any of the any cool stuff? Anything where you're like, oh, I didn't think about that. That's kind of awesome.
There's a couple things that we are shocked by. There's like a whole community of virtual assistants, like on Facebook. There's like pages and stuff you can join. And so that was something that was really cool and shocking to us, was like when we had questions that we were like, I don't even know. Because we know a lot of people that own a business, right? Well, not a lot of people own a virtual business that's exclusively online. There's no meeting in person, everything. We're like, man, we've got questions and things that we don't know how to get the answers to for this area of work. And so we joined a couple of Facebook groups of just virtual assistants that are all over the world and got advice from them. So that was like a really cool, fun thing that we came across. We're like, okay, cool. So like if we ever have questions in this area of what we do, there's a whole community of people that can help us out and give advice. So that was fun.
Nice. You know, they say it takes a village. So, you know, having people
Truly
around you can really, you know, expedite some of the learning process too, if you need it. So with that being said, where can people find your business? Like what is it called? What is...
So our virtual assistant business is called Veyra Virtual Assistants, spelled exactly how it sounds, Veyra. We have a website, veyravirtual.com. We have an Instagram. That's pretty much where we're at right now. We have a Facebook page as well, but we had started with basic social media accounts because with a full-time job, it's hard to keep up with like a million things. But yes, we're Veyra Virtual on Instagram, Veyra Virtual Assistants on Facebook, and veyravirtual.com, our website that we worked really hard on. I'm really proud of. But that website is my baby.
Love that. And then, but what about the streaming stuff? Where can they find you if they want to see you pop it on the streams or some YouTube videos?
Yeah. So it's PuffleHuff27 on Twitch, on Instagram, and on YouTube. 27 being the lucky number and Pufflehuff being taken on almost every platform, which was a shock. But yes, you can find me on Twitch, you can find me on Instagram and on YouTube.
Nice. I love that. And I have a borrowed tradition that I'm doing at the end of all of my episodes, and I borrowed it from the Diary of a CEO because I loved it so much, where a previous person that I had interviewed leaves a question for the next person.
Ooh.
So the question is going to be from Vadi 4554, and he wants to ask you, when it comes to streaming and when it comes to, you know, the business that you're creating right now, I'm guessing, what are you doing it for?
Oh man, that is such a good question. I think I'm doing it for myself, one, and for Luke and my future family, like doing it to grow myself and keep myself driven and having goals, because I feel like you should always have goals no matter what, and keeping myself sharp in that way. But absolutely doing it for myself and trying to grow into the person that I want to be and continue learning, and doing this will always keep you on your toes and keep you learning. So definitely doing that for me and for my future, for my family.
Great answer. Honestly, wonderful answer. Well, Natalie, aka Pufflehuff, thank you for doing the podcast today. I really appreciate
Of
it.
course.
And I look forward to playing Vala with you in the future.
Yes, we need to stream together soon.
Absolutely.
Now that I'm in my new house and I have my setup.
Yep.
We need to
You
do
got,
it.
you got the pickle Rick going in the background.
I
Like we're
know.
ready to go. Like you're set
Tradition.
up.
I know he can't not be here for streams, like it's part of it now.
No, absolutely. All right. Well, thank you for being here. I appreciate it. And all right, we'll see you guys next time.